next Sunday is our seeds offering service. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. And what is so exciting about this is that just like those forefathers of St. Peter's Church, just like those guys that we saw on the video there, on the photo there, we in our day, in our time, are having an opportunity, aren't we, to sow a seed of faith. Because there was a verse that Josh shared early on when we first shared about the gift day coming, and it said here in 1 Corinthians 3, what then is Apollos? What is Paul? So who are we? Who are each of us? There is no one special person. There is no one leader from that picture who is the only one who's going to foresee what is going on here in King's Church. There's no just the leadership doing stuff here at King's Church. Each of us are playing a part. It says here, they are servants through whom you believed, and each has the role the Lord has given. Each of us has a role. Ali had a word in pre-service prayer this morning about that, the very thing of that each of us has a part to play in a different way, perhaps, and knowing that we are part of the body of Christ, building the national, local, citywide, small expression, whatever it might be, playing our part in the kingdom building that God has got planned. And he said here, I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. And we were talking a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about generosity, about how each of us is given resources to steward well, resources that were God's to begin with, and that we have been gifted, and that we have an opportunity right now to decide what that looks like, what we do with that. We were talking about how you can have seeds, and you might think, yeah, look at all the seeds. I've got so many seeds. It's great. And we can keep hold of them really tight, and we can feel really secure because I've got all my seeds. But the seeds don't do anything as they are, just in your hands. I'm ready, tight-fisted. I'm being tight-fisted here, keeping my seeds close, feeling secure because of it. But it's only when they are planted, only when they're released and given over to God to do the growth, that we see exponentially more than the potential of just the seed in the hand. This is our opportunity in this day to play our part. Now, we talked about Alpha. It might be that you can't come and help at Alpha. You haven't got the availability on a Wednesday night. It might be that you hear about student work and you think, that's great. I am not cool enough to hang out with the students. I mean, check that because everyone's cool. But it might be that you think, I can't come and physically give my time and my gifts, but what I can do is invest. I can invest some of my money, my finance into seeing what God has got for this church and his kingdom building. Because it's so much more than just what King's doing here, isn't it? It's about what God is doing in our in his kingdom building, in our local expression. Now, we shared, and you've got on your seats these lovely leaflets. There's like one for every other seat, so share it around. If you know you've already got one of these, pass it to the person next to you. That's fine. Why don't you pick it up? We shared what our priorities are going to be for this upcoming gift day, and we asked you to take them away to prayerfully consider what your generous overflow might be towards these things. And we did talk about time. We did talk about using your talents towards these areas, but there is a particular opportunity now to give financially in the next couple of weeks. So we shared that our priorities are about Alpha, about Academy, about students, and about creativity. Students, which our ministry is called Citizens. Now, there is one man who has particularly been feeding into these ministry areas for the last 6 months, and that man is Drew Enos. Can we give Drew a bit of a round of applause? No, he doesn't like it. He's so humble. He's so humble. But Drew has now been here, Drew and the family. We just realised, didn't we, just this week, Drew, 6 months. In some ways, it feels like he's been forever here, right? They've been around forever. In some ways, it's like, wow, only 6 months. That's mad. It's crazy. But we really want to celebrate Drew in this 6 months and all that he's invested into those ministries. And those ministries in particular are our focus for the coming year. And I don't know if you remember, but when Drew first came, we actually shared with you that he was here on a placement. It was a year that we were going to be having Drew with us in the family. We're 6 months in, guys. Yeah? So that means that year is coming to an end quite soon. And the reality is that he's already started and invested in a ton of these ministries, Alpha, Citizens, and Creativity, as well as preaching, theology, pastoral care, all the other bits and bobs that he does behind the scenes that you probably don't even see. We want to see more, right? We want to see those ministries growing in the next 6 months and beyond, because God has got more coming for Alpha, for Citizens, for creativity. And the release of Drew being here has enabled some of the other ministries to grow, like Academy as well, because it enables some of the rest of the staff to have more time. And so what we're looking for is an increase, and this is a faith increase, because we don't want money to be the reason that there's a stagnating of growth, do we? We want there to be no barriers to growth, and one of those areas that you can actually play a part in is in giving. And so we are asking not so much for a one-off gift. It might be that that's what you really feel called to, a one-off gift. Maybe that's all that you can manage. But actually, we're able as a team to budget and plan for, in faith, the future when monthly giving is increased. So it might be that you've never set up a monthly giving, never done a monthly tithe and offering. This is the time. I'd love to encourage you to think about it. Next week in Gift Day, we're going to have an opportunity it's going to be really easy to sign up and to start a monthly giving. But lots of you are already giving monthly. And do you know what? I want to say thank you so much, because it's only because of that we've been able to invest both staff time and resources into each of these different ministries. Thank you. But also, this time of year is also a good time to stop and reflect, isn't it? Some of us have had pay rises, some of us have had promotions, and maybe we're just feeling a stirring of generosity from God. And so we would encourage you to just take a look and see if proportionally you might want to increase your monthly giving. Now, we're being faith-filled. We're saying that we would love our monthly giving to increase by £1,500 a month, £1,500 a month, which is a faith-filled hope. But when we break it down, that is just 150 people giving £10 more a month. It's not too bad. We're a church of nearly 200. It could be possible. It could be that it's 100 people giving £15 a month. Or maybe you're one of those really generous few, those 30 people giving an extra £50 a month. It would make an incredible difference to the work that God has got in this kingdom. It's our opportunity to give back in to what God is doing. So next Sunday is going to be the moment that we all stand together, unified in raising up the next season of what Kings has got here.